everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Robin's Reading Nest, where birds of a feather read together. And today I have a new book for you, and the name of that book is Black Cake, and it is by Charmaine Wilkerson. Now, when I tell you that this book was emotional, believe it. There were so many twists and turns and secrets being revealed that I had to step away for a second to try to process what I had just read. It was on the edge of your seat. So let's start off by doing a summary of the book. Okay, Black Cake is about two estranged siblings, Byron and Bernadette, who meet for the reading of their deceased mother, Eleanor's will. While trying to reconnect after 8 years, the siblings learn that Eleanor held a life of secrets that neither sibling could fathom or prepare for. Also in the recording, Eleanor tells the two siblings that they must share a slice of her black cake that is in the freezer. Eleanor's traditional black cake is more than a recipe, but a culinary timeline of Eleanor's life, struggle, triumph, and legacy. To say that this novel had twist is an understatement. If you have ever seen the meme of the confused dog, then you can pretty much imagine that as my reaction while reading certain parts of this book. As I mentioned in my One Summer in Savannah review, I don't really like it, when the author goes back and forth from the present to the past and then back again, because at times the story can be filled with such, unnecessary, minute details that the ending becomes rushed and, it doesn't make sense. But in Black Cake, however, the back and forth helped to move the pace of the story, and it kept me on the edge of my seat. As children B and B, which is what Eleanor calls the siblings, they thought that they had a full and perfect childhood. But as the will is read, a spotlight is put on how parents can unknowingly dump their trauma on their children. This became evident in the way that Byron was always thought of as being the perfect child, and how he felt that Benny, his sister, was lazy. He felt a loyalty to his parents not to get in touch with Benny all of these years ago. As far as Benny, I would say that she was misunderstood, but her stubbornness wouldn't let her see life from another perspective. As a parent, you want to protect, prepare, and prevent children from making the same mistakes that you did. As a child, you want to figure things out for yourself, and you tend to resent your parents for admonishing your choices. The irony is that parents forget that they themselves were once those same children who hated the way their parents controlled their life. And as the children grow up and become parents, they are now doing the same thing that their parents did to them. So, in reality, it goes without saying that wisdom does come with age. As a young adult or a child, you think you know everything about the world. You don't care what other people think, and it's what you want, and you don't care about the consequences at the moment. But as an adult, you realize that a child, even though they may have some inkling of what life is about, they don't have the answers, and that you know better than them at some point. So let's meet our Black Cake characters. Our first character is Byron Bennett, who is an author and ocean scientist. He has been fighting to get a director position. He is the brother to Benny and the oldest child of Eleanor Douglas and Bert Bennett. Benedetta Bennett is the little sister of Byron, daughter of Eleanor and Bert Bennett, and she is considered the black sheep of the family. She is queer and wanted to become an artist and own a coffee shop. She has been estranged from her family for 8 years. Eleanor Bennett, wife of Bert, has passed away and has asked Charles Mitchell, her lawyer, to take care of her estate planning. Eleanor had an accident right before the reading of the will. She went out to surf and she broke her leg. Bert Bennett, who is the husband to Eleanor, is a lawyer. He met Eleanor in the UK. They moved to California to start a very prosperous and comfortable life. All of the characters have such complex lives that I believe they each could have had standalone stories. For example, Byron has had struggles with being passed over at work. It seems that no matter how hard he works, he just can't seem to get a promotion. But the company wants him to be the face of its projects and of the company itself. So he's always being sent out to schools and colleges to say, hey, I'm a black guy in California. If I could get this job as um, an ocean scientist, then hey, you can do the same thing. So once again, there's another promotion coming up, and he's hoping that he can get it. He feels like there's no one else who can compete with him, and he has top billing. Also, Byron is having struggles with his dating life, and not to mention, he is constantly having run ins with the police. Going into Benedette's life, we could do a standalone story of her opening her cafe. I think that would make a good storyline because, in reality, even though Benny is estranged from her family, she is so much like her mother when it comes to her culinary skills, which I think if Benny had spent more time with her mother, she would have realized that. Also, I think another good standalone story would have been how their father, Bert, how he came along with his schooling in the UK and how it, kind of propelled him to marry their mother and move to California. I had saw the previews for Black Cake on Hulu and I was excited about it. Once I found out that it was a book, I decided to read the book first and then watch the show. I have started doing a lot of my reading on the Libby app on my iPad. So I was waiting on the wait list for this book and it took forever. As you can see on the screen, I had put myself on the list for this book back in October. So once I got the book and I finished it a couple of weeks ago, I decided that I would go ahead and start the series, only for me to get to the third episode and lose interest. That could be because the book is better or because I was distracted, but I will try to finish the series again on a later date. I plan to do some added things to my YouTube channel pretty soon, and one of those things is to do a food playlist, and that will be a bunch of videos of me preparing the foods that have been mentioned in the books that I have reviewed. Jamaican black cake will be one of those recipes. According to the book, black cake is a cake that has wine and rum soaked fruit baked into it. The fruit can be soaked for months up to a year. I'm not really a fan of fruit cake. Growing up in Georgia, a Claxton fruit cake was going to always be present during Christmas. I would almost always eat the fruit, trash the cake. A couple of recipes that I found on Pinterest said that the Jamaican black cake was more moist than a Claxton fruit cake. So once I make the recipe, I'll be the judge of that. I gave this book 4 out of 4 stars. It was such a roller coaster of generational trauma, secrets, lies, and surprises that it kept you wanting more. And even though I didn't mention all of the characters that were present in the book, believe me, they played a critical part in keeping Eleanor's identity a secret. Going all the way back to her childhood in Jamaica, where we met her mother and her father and her best friend, to following her to the UK, where she met another friend that she tragically lost, and also to meeting a boss who did something that was just very unthinkable. This was a very good book. I can't wait to see what else Charmaine Wilkerson will put out. I have also heard whispers that there could be a season 2 of Black Cake on Hulu, so I guess I better go back and catch up on that series. But once again, you guys, the name of this book is Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. And if I could get you guys to share, like, and subscribe and comment on this channel. I would be so grateful. If you have any other recommendations similar to this book or just anything in general, please put them down in the comment box. Also, if you guys could follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok at Robin's Reading Nest, I would very much appreciate that also. I do small videos over there, such as reactions, and yeah, I try to keep things kind of short over there. But over here on YouTube, I do the longer reviews. Also, if you're new here, please start from the beginning of my videos and check out my booktube book newbie video, my very first video that I did, and catch up on recommendations and reviews that I have already done. I try to upload at least one video a week. Please give me grace. I'm still learning. Pretty soon, hopefully, though, I'll get the hang of it and I'll be able to put out more videos. But once again, I would like to thank you guys for visiting Robin's Reading Nest, where birds of a feather read together.